Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa and the $150,000 player. Now you guys are probably thinking, what the hell is going on? What are you talking about, Sty? Well, this is about a player called Sinatra who's been picked up by NRG, who are an Overwatch League team. Now I'll actually explain what all of this means in this video, but let's just touch onto this for a second. This is NRG signing the 17-year-old Overwatch Pro Sinatra for $150,000 a year. Now there's a couple of reasons why this is interesting, namely he's 17, he's not 18. You have to be 18 to play in Overwatch League, but we'll get onto that in a second. Of course you can see here on Twitter, Jay or Sinatra is like PogChamp, which he would be because he's 17 and he's just been given a $150,000 12-month contract, I do believe, by NRG, which is quite ridiculous. However, we will explain in this video how, yeah, this sounds like a lot of money, but when you think about it, it's actually not that much money. Obviously, I know it is in the real world. $150,000 is a hell of a lot of money, especially if you're 17. I mean, I think I worked in a place which was like I guess like a diner, I suppose. If you were an American, I washed the dishes. I was a pot washer. That's what I did when I was 17, I think. Or maybe I did that when I was 16. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. But I wasn't playing Overwatch and getting $150,000. Anyway, what the hell is Overwatch League and why does this matter? Well, this is the first public salary that's actually come out for Overwatch League. Now, Blizzard have put a few rules in place for the Overwatch League, which means you have to pay players at least $50,000 a year. Now, I know these figures sound crazy, but the thing is, these players they're like sportsmen, right? They're like footballers or basketball players or whatever. They're really, really good, and then they train as well. So it's a lot of they've got unique skills, which they really should be getting paid for and not really having kind of like the biscuit taken out of them, which I think has happened in the past a fair bit with various esports organizations. So Blizzard are actually trying to put the emphasis on the players so that players have got a stable living, because you can only really be an esports professional for a certain number of years. Then after that, you need to go into different kinds of roles. When I mean professional, I mean player. Like, it's generally like sports. Like, you'll play sports for a few years, but then you'll become like an analyst or a shoutcaster or something like that. You know, that's kind of what happens. Anyway, $150,000. Why isn't this actually a lot? Well, it costs $20 million for an Overwatch League spot. Now, Overwatch League is the premier esports division, setup, whatever you want to call it, for Overwatch. This will have the best players, the best teams, and it's all geolocation stuff. Now, geolocation means that you have cities around the world where the teams are based in, and the teams actually have new names. So we're very lucky in the UK because we've got London, and Cloud9 have bought the London slot for $20 million, which is completely ridiculous. So C9 now have to put in a team into the London spot. But the interesting thing is, it's not actually Cloud9 that will be in the London spot. It will be a different name, I think. It will be like London, something like London Lions, London Spitfires. I think that's kind of the naming system that's going for Overwatch League teams. But none of that really matters, because what's going on right now is all of the pros are trying to get OWL teams. Now, OWL is obviously Overwatch League, because it guarantees them $50,000, and that's what you want. So the question is, why have NRG picked up Sinatra for $150,000? And this $150,000, it sets a precedent, doesn't it? Because Sinatra is a fantastically good player. Like, he is a ridiculous tracer player, but that's kind of all he can really do. I think he played a little bit of Zarya in the World Cup, but generally he's a tracer player, but he's a very, very good tracer. Now, tracer is one of the heroes in the game that is pretty much used all of the time. Unless she gets nerfed, then things might change. I think going forward into the future, you kind of want players with more diverse hero pools, not people who are just sort of specific to one hero. But that being said, he's a young guy, and a lot of these players can just adapt to different heroes anyway. So if you've got like a Genji one trick or a McCree one trick or whatever, they can adapt to other heroes as needed. Anyway, there are a few tracer players out there that are better than Sinatra, in my opinion. I think, in fact, to be honest, this isn't really in my opinion. This is basically the accepted opinion. So we've got, obviously, Sinatra, he's a good player. Then we've got players like Soon for Rogue, a very good tracer. Tracer. You've got Effect, who is an exceptionally good Rogue. No, he's an exceptionally good tracer for Envious, and he's really good at Effectors. He also plays very good Doomfist as well. And then you've got Sabiobli. No, it's Sabiolbi. I can never say his name. He is the best tracer by far. He is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I have not seen anybody play tracer like that man plays tracer. It is just ridiculous. So if Sinatra can command $150,000, what about these other players? Now, there is another interesting aspect to all of this Overwatch League stuff, and it's the Seagull aspect, I guess. It's where you've got a known player, and it's kind of like the Wayne Rooney aspect, right? That's kind of the way to look at it. Wayne Rooney, yeah, he was not very good the last couple of... Well, David Beckham's probably a better example. More people will probably know who David Beckham is. You buy him for shirt sales. There is possibly an argument that certain players can command bigger wages because they've got a big audience. So somebody like Seagull, very good player, a very adaptable player, Seagull is. I mean, obviously, he's more than good enough to play in an Overwatch League team, don't get me wrong. But he could probably command a much higher salary than somebody like Sinatra. So for Sinatra to have $150,000 straight from the get-go is very interesting, unless they really see some sort of adaptability in the player. I don't know, but it is all very interesting, guys. It's all very early days as well. Overwatch League is very, very interesting. Like, I cannot wait to see what happens in London. I mean, there's a lot of North American teams, there's South Korean teams, there's Chinese teams, and all of this good stuff. But London, I can't wait to see what goes on with that. It's going to be utterly ridiculous. But yeah, guys, I thought this would be an interesting video because you can make a living playing video games. You have to be amazingly good. And I guess just to end this video, I want to touch on the fact that, yeah, this is a lot of money. This is $150,000 for a very young player who cannot actually play in Overwatch League right now. But I think he might be able to just as the league opens up. I'm not sure. Or it's going to be very close because you need to be 18 years old. But it is very interesting nonetheless. There is a wider debate here, and actually, I mean, in fact, I think I'm going to go on record and say I don't think $150,000 is actually that high, to be honest. When you look at the amount it costs to buy these Overwatch League spots, $20 million, and you're only playing one of your players $150,000, that seems low. Like, it seems like they should be paid more. Now, I know there's a load of arguments with all of this stuff. It's like, well, nurses only get paid so much money, doctors only get paid so much money, why should somebody like this get paid a load of money, etc, etc, etc. But it's the same with every sportsman. They are basically advertising machines. Yes, they're very good at their game. Yes, they perform very well, they give us entertainment, but it's generally about all of the advertising money that surrounds sports, where a lot of the money gets pumped into the clubs. And for the clubs to actually keep the players, they need to increase their wages, and that's why players get a lot of money. That's why, again, to use a real-world football example, you can look at somebody like Cristiano Ronaldo, who probably makes £700,000 or euros or something every single week, which is a hell of a lot of money. But again, it's just because of the reach of the sport. I think this is good news, actually, and I want to see, well, we will see more stuff coming out in the coming months, because Overwatch League teams are starting to put their players together, and will put their rosters together, and we'll probably see more information on this. But the fact is, even the most basic salary for Overwatch League is $50,000, and then you also get a share of all of the winnings as well, which is awesome. And I think some in-game items, which they are going to start selling fairly soon, which is going to be super interesting. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. It's been a bit of a different video, but Overwatch League is something I'm very interested in. I watch a lot of Overwatch esports, and I think it's going to be very fun to watch this develop. And yeah, alright guys, I've been Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and I will catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.